Well, good morning, everybody. It's 8:10 at WHO with Van and Bonnie in the morning. Seems like it wasn't that long ago. We were sitting in California doing a broadcast, trying to see what we could do to help save the USS Iowa. That was quite a trip,
That was
wasn't
after
it?
1 hour of sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we got when we were out there, 1 hour of sleep.
That's true.
And then we were on the air, ready to go.
But some amazing things have happened down through a number of years here on trying to save the USS Iowa. We were very concerned because the USS Iowa was parked in a place that basically was a junkyard or a graveyard site of ships, and we got to see that. Didn't like the looks of that because they talked about different options of things they could do with that. They were talking about maybe they could use it for scrap metal, or maybe they could use it for target practice, or just taking it out to the middle of the ocean and sinking it. And well, if you know anything at all about the history of that ship, that just is not, that could not happen, period.
Well, and it's the Iowa class of ships, but yet the Iowa was the only one that had not been
only one left
restored to museum.
Yeah. Well, we've come a long ways, and I'm very happy to introduce Iowa Governor Terry Branstad in the studio with us here this morning.
Well, thank you, Van. As you know, I've been a strong supporter of the restoration of the USS Iowa and making it a museum. Obviously, we can't get it to Iowa because we don't have anything.
We looked into every way we possibly could, though, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And I was there when it was recommissioned during the Reagan administration.
Pascagoula, is that where that was?
Pascagoula, Mississippi, and Vice President George H.W. Bush was the vice president who spoke at the dedication, and I was there for that. So it's got a great history. Of course, President Franklin Roosevelt traveled on the USS Iowa. There's a special bathtub for him because he was handicapped on the ship. So it's got a great history, and we're excited about the fact that it's now going to be preserved and it's going to become a museum down in the Los Angeles area. So it'll be an area where a lot of people can go and see it, and Iowans are going to get a special deal.
They get in free.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we think that's, and the state is also supporting this, and that's why I'm here today. I'm going to sign a bill, Senate File 2018, which really is a clarification of legislation passed last year that provides $3 million to the Department of Cultural Affairs, which will then go to the nonprofit that has a responsibility for restoration of the Iowa. And we're excited about it, and this is, I think, the first time I've ever signed a bill on Van and Bonnie.
Well, and I want to say welcome to Jeff Lamberti, too. He has been so integral in a lot of the things that have gone on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and whenever you got a project this big, there's hills and there's valleys, and you've been through all of those, but boy, you guys stuck with it, and here we are. This is going to be an exciting moment for you to watch what's going to happen.
Very exciting, and what I want people to understand is, it's really now not a matter of whether we're saving the Iowa, it's when we're going to get it done. And we want to thank the legislature and the governor for kind of helping clarify this, speed it up. As you might recall, in October, we actually had to move the ship out very quickly from the ship graveyard where it was because of the silting problem that we had. So it kind of turned the time frame upside down a little bit on us, and we moved it to the Port of Richmond, still in the San Francisco Bay Area, but we need to get working immediately. So clarifying some language here, get this money freed up, and we can start the painting work, the restoration, resetting the mast, and it's sitting at the Port of Richmond ready to go. So this is going to be a huge step in making this a reality. I tell you, Becky Beach and I can't keep up with all the requests of people wanting to help, and in large part because of all the things you and Bonnie have done in terms of publicizing our efforts. The people of Iowa are fully behind this effort.
I might say two things, that the state of California also did something like this with funding, and the other thing is, if somebody's concerned about the cost after it gets set, this is supposed to fund itself by tourism, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we want to make sure is once we get it to LA, that we not only fund the ongoing operations, but are able to set aside each year some money for future restoration. I mean, this is a huge ship, and every 10 or 15 years you need to take it to dry dock and make sure that it's, being preserved and maintained, and so you need to generate some reserves, and our business plan is based on that. And we think, based on what we've already seen, just to give you an example, we've opened the ship at the Port of Richmond just for limited tours right now on the deck only, because we can't go below deck. We're just waiting there for work. And this past weekend, they had 1,000 people
Wow.
show
Oh,
up
that's
to do the
awesome.
limited deck
Wow,
tour.
that's something.
And that just shows, and that's without any publicity in California. We're just saying, hey, here's the ship, and they're showing up to see it. So we're very confident it'll be self-supporting.
Well, it's a gem not only for the state of Iowa, but for the whole world, really. After, I mean, these people helped save the country for democracy.
Right, right. Played a very key role in World War II.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of the big conferences in World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt traveled on the USS Iowa. So, it also saw action later during the Reagan administration. And so
It was, I think it was right outside the Statue of Liberty during the bicentennial celebration.
exactly. In fact, the president, I think, was on the USS Iowa for the sesquicentennial, and they had that great event at kind of the rededication of the Statue of Liberty in 1976. So it's got a great history, and it's obviously our namesake. We're proud of it. The people of Iowa are, and Iowans are going to be able to, you know, all the other tourists are going to have to pay to go on it, but not Iowans. So we think that's special, and we certainly want to thank Jeff and Becky and everybody, and certainly you, Van and Bonnie, for all the support and assistance you've given, and people can continue to contribute to it. I've personally contributed to it, and I'd encourage other Iowans to do so too, because we really want to show our support, and the legislature has provided $3 million, and with this bill that I'm signing, and I'm going to go ahead and sign it right now.
I was going to say, you pointed
got
out
some-
rightly that we don't do this every day, so we don't know what to do. We would just watch you.
Well, yeah. Only the governor can sign a bill. So. It's one of the important responsibilities of the office, but I'm going to use several pens so that you will get a souvenir pin from this occasion as well.
I just wondered how you did that and made it look like...
Well, that's the problem. You know, it looks like a real old man must have signed it. Handwriting was
Or
really
third grade.
shaky. You're right.
Well, that's terrific. And this pretty much sailed through the legislature.
Yeah, it passed. In fact, it passed 49-0 in the Senate and 96-0 in the House.
Wow.
I notice I have all my pens are black ink except one is blue ink, so my middle initial is in blue ink. This would be very unique. I don't know why one of these pens has
I'll
blue
tell you
ink,
what,
but
we'll save an audio tape for history, and then people will know why it's that way when they look
this
back.
is going to be historic because my middle initial is in blue ink. Man, so
Thank you so much.
There it
Oh,
is.
fabulous. Fabulous.
There it is.
Thank
I'm
you so
going
much.
to give Jeff the first pen.
Thank you very much.
Van, I'm going to give you the second
Oh,
pen.
thank you.
And pass this
I'll give
one to
this over to
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
So
Very
then
good.
we have a transmittal letter. Every bill that I sign, then I transmit to the Secretary of State for it to be permanently kept in the Secretary of State's office. So now I have, in addition to signing the bill, I'm
To sign
signing the
his, huh?
transmittal letter.
That's great.
And I picked up the one that's got blue ink again for that.
Jeff, thank you for coming over this morning, too.
Yes.
This is kind of get tingly when I think about where this has been and where it's going now.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, this really is the step that we need to make sure this is going to happen, and it's been a lot of work, but the support of the people of Iowa has just been tremendous, and hopefully we can take this video and make this part of the permanent record out at Los Angeles.
Yeah,
when we-
that's a good
when we
idea.
get the
You
ship,
bet, on the
so
ship,
that
you
people
bet.
can see the commitment of the people of Iowa.
Here's a pen for Becky.
Thank you. Thank you.
Governor, thank you so much. I know this is a little outside the box, but we appreciate it.
All right.
you
Well,
being
the
here.
nice thing is this is real close to Terrace Hill, so this is wonderful to
That's
be here
right.
this morning.
You
And
bet.
thank you very much. Really, thanks for all you've done to promote the USS Iowa's restoration, and it's going to be exciting to go see it once it's
Absolutely.
been
We
restored.
want to go out and broadcast there. Maybe we'll catch you out there while we're there.
Well,
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
well, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
8:18 here at WHO.
Gee, the governor's close enough. Maybe you could stop by and pick up a pork certificate. WHO Radio Traffic powered
We're on
by
a pork
Shaw.
drive.
We're doing Groundhog Day tomorrow, but we're doing away Groundhog. We're doing pork.
Ground pork.
Well, I tell you, the price of pork is pretty darn good right now.
Yeah.
Though, if you're heading up north,
Yep,
we've got
we're here.
reports
So-
of some ice fog.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
hey, you're welcome.
Thanks for all your support on all of that.
Thanks for
Jeff, thank you. You bet.
We'll keep you updated.
Okay. Sure. That's great.